Okay, Lucha Libre. Awesome. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am you McQuaid, and today we are talking about Rev Pro and CMLL's big crossover event Fantastica Mania 2023, a huge crossover show promoting the joys of Lucha Libre wrestling here, there in Manchester, in the UK. But before we dive into my full review, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts on the show down below if you were in attendance, and let me know everything you want down in the comments below as we dive into this show. So this show overall I had a blast with. I thought this was one of the most fun wrestling experiences that I have ever had the pleasure of being a part of. I thought the matches were killer for the most part. I thought everyone who'd come over from CMLL was fantastic. I thought the atmosphere was great, a really great crowd at the Love Factory in Manchester, and it was just really fun. A lean 2.5 hour show, 6 matches that all burnt, that were all fire. What more can I say other than that? So yeah, CMLL came across to join Rev Pro. If you don't know what CMLL is, it's very hard to say. I'm struggling to say it very quickly. It is one of the largest wrestling promotions in Mexico. A lot of Lucha Libre stars, a lot of luchadors came across to do a big crossover event celebrating Lucha Libre. And we'll just dive straight into it. We'll dive into my review. So I'll tell you my thoughts on the matches, the angles, everything that happened at the show, and let you know all the good stuff. Little asterisks that I've got to preface: if I am at a show, I do not take notes like I do if I'm watching a show on TV or live streamed. So if some of the thingies, my analytics are iffy, that's because I was not taking notes and I'm going on pure memory, which is fading in the ripe old age of 26. So the opening match we got was Trent Seven and Levi Mir taking on Captain Suicida and Guerrero Maya Jr. A really fun tag match, a really fun opening tag match that really heated up the crowd. You know, it wasn't like blow away fantastic, it wasn't terrible, but it was the perfect match to start the show because you have Trent Seven and Levi Mir being incredibly obnoxious heels. I think they're so good in the way they do it. Trent Seven coming out with the luchador mask with the mustache is just genius, and they're going up against two really over baby faces. To be honest, for the majority of this show, the luchadors were all the baby faces in the matches. Sometimes they would play a little bit heel, like the main event, which we'll get to. But my God, just the way they worked together and the spots they crafted were so good. Everything could have gone so wrong, but there were lots of dives, lots of topes, really energetic lucha chants from the crowd. And I think Trent Seven is just phenomenal. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and him playing the obnoxious, arrogant heel is just, he's so fun. There's some great sequences in this, but it all led to the ending sequence in which Trent Seven and Levi Mir, to an extent, just destroyed, I think it was Captain Suicida, but I could be wrong, just destroyed him with finisher after finisher after finisher. It was sick. It was a really fun match. The heels picked up the win in the opening contest, which I think is an interesting choice. But yeah, a lot of heel victories on this, and this was a perfect way to heat up the crowd and get that fire burning, essentially. Then we got a big 6-man tag with Okamura, Sangre Imperial and Wild Boar taking on Ordaz, Ricky Knight Jr. and Zack Knight. Zack Knight and Ricky Knight Jr., my God. Ricky Knight Jr. is just a star in the making. I've said this in every show that I think I've reviewed him in, whether it be the Atlas tournament, whether it be Feel the Noise for Progress. He is just next level good in terms of his in-ring ability and the presence that he brings to anything that he does. He is just a ready-made, packaged star. And this was really fun as well. It was a really fun 6-man tag. It wasn't as good as the 6-man tag that was to come, which was a contender for match of the night. But I think everyone got to show off their skills in this. Big standout for me was Zack Knight. I've never really had a chance to see Zack Knight wrestle, but my God, the passion, the absolute passion and just raw enthusiasm that emanates from him is fantastic. He hit a really beautiful rolling spear and some great combination moves with Ricky Knight Jr. Wild Boar, just phenomenally entertaining. I've always loved Wild Boar. And I think the other standout for me was Sangre Imperial. I've never seen him before, but he was like really cool. Really cool. And this was another victory for the heels as Okamura picked up the win, pinning Ordaz. Fantastic. Really fantastic match. I really enjoyed this 6-man tag, and just some of the combination offense in this match was really good. This is one where everyone worked perfectly well, perfectly good, in sync with each other, and it was a blow-away match. Really, really fun. Then we got a singles match between Robbie X and Magia Blanca. This was really good. I was really excited to see Robbie X live. Robbie X, I think, is one of the best wrestlers working in the UK today. And I feel like this was really good. It showcased everything that Robbie X could do. If it just gone 5 minutes more, I think there was a little bit more left in the tank for this match. But Robbie X got everything in. He got his flips in. He got his kip up into the back heel kick, which looks great. He just everything went perfectly in this match. And Blanca, I think, is an interesting character because he wasn't the typical luchador in this necessarily. He was definitely playing the bad guy. Robbie X was definitely the babyface, and he did that really well. He had a really good presence about him, a really good aura and like physique. He wasn't necessarily a traditional lucha libre star. He was more of a rudo, more of a heel. So yeah, I was very entertained by this match. Little bit more added on. Robbie X picked up the win with his cutter. I can't remember what he calls it, but it's like the handspring into the cutter for the 1, 2, 3. Really happy Robbie X picked up a win, and yeah, love this. I love Robbie X in general. Anything Robbie X touches turns to gold. So yeah, push Robbie X, British Promotions. The next 3 were basically just got contenders for match of the night, so we're just going to run through these pretty much. We've got Subculture, Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews teaming with Titan to take on Lykos Jim and Santoken Jr. This was awesome. This was awesome. It's so great to see Subculture wrestle again outside of NXT UK because that's primarily where I saw them. But I love them so much, and I love Lykos Jim. You know I love Lykos Jim. They're one of my favourites. And this turned into a mad brawl straight away with people just everywhere. People behind us, people getting decked on the chairs, people right down the entrance ramp. This was the carnage match of the night, and I loved it. I really loved it. You had some great tag team offense in there between Subculture, a really nice spinning sit-out powerbomb from Flash Morgan Webster. And yeah, this just evolved into top rope moves from Lykos, a handspring, sort of Chuck Mambo-esque handspring, dive onto the middle rope, dive onto the top rope, leaping drop kick to Lykos from Titan. And yeah, this just kept going, and this was a big win for the good guys, for the babyfaces, as Subculture picked up the win over Lykos Jim, which is interesting, of course. I find it interesting in these British promotions. Obviously, Lykos has got a big title defense, no big title match against Spike Trivet, where he is an ultimate babyface. He was a big old heel in this match at Rev Pro. So that dichotomy is just really fascinating to me, that different promotions use the wrestlers in a different way. But yeah, good guys picked up the win. Subculture and Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews and Titan. Awesome. This was one of my favourite matches, one of my favourite 6-man matches I've ever seen live. And I loved it. It was so fun. Then we got probably my match of the night. I absolutely loved this match. And this was sort of 2 unknown commodities to me. And that was Ultimo Guerrero taking on Atlantis Jr. This was like a revelation. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this, because these are 2 big men, big, hard men. And they tore the house down. They had an absolute barn burner. I loved this. This was so good. It was hard hitting. It was, playing off the heel face dynamic well. And Atlantis Jr. is just really good. He's like one of the top stars in CMLL, as he said at the end of the show. He's amazing. And they just worked so well together. This incredible sequence where they were just slapping each other with like the towel that had come off Ultimo Guerrero's waist, and then escalated into a huge brawl with chops, with flips, everything, big top rope, belly-to-belly suplex. It was just insane. It was a really insane match, and Ultimo Guerrero picked up the win. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This is one where I was like, just watching, being like, this is why I love wrestling. This is just fantastic, seeing two people I've never heard of just put on such an entertaining show. That this was just incredible, absolutely incredible. And I'd go out of your way to watch this one if you really want some Lucha Libre entertainment, if you want some good professional wrestling. Seek out this match, because this is going to fly under the radar for great matches that have happened this year. And yeah, I really, really loved this match. I'll go into more detail, but I'm currently blanking on the specifics of this. But God, it was fun. And then we got the main event. We got Michael Oku defending his undisputed British Heavyweight Championship against Hycherio. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't think I am. This was really, really fun. This told a really good story as well. I really like the story that these guys told in the ring. It started off with Hycherio, pummeling essentially Michael Oku. Michael Oku hardly got any offense in to begin with, and it was all about Hycherio being the bad guy of this match. He was dominating the opening portions of this, and it'd be a few little flurries of offense that Oku would get in to sort of whittle down the leg. And that's what I liked about this. They told the story of the leg. He always went for the leg. He was setting up his inverted boss single leg Boston Crab, and that was where they went with it. They had really nice story about that, about him, Oku, using the weakness, singling out the leg, wrenching back, and just pulling deep down to get the win. And I really liked that. There was, of course, some awesome flippy spots. This nasty bump that Oku took on the ring apron where he got flipped over and dropped on his back. A really good sort of Fosbury flop backflip over the top rope to Hycherio. And it just went from there, focusing on the leg. It was a single leg drop kick, I think, that really took Hycherio off his feet, and then a diving drop kick as well from Oku, took out the knee, and then just kept working over. A really great finishing sequence towards the end where Hycherio manages to grab the rope, and then they go into overdrive, that final flush where they're just nailing each other with big moves. A huge top rope moonsault caught into an armbar, like an armbar stretcher. Was stuff of beauty. Some of the greatest stuff I've seen in a professional wrestling ring this year, because it was so clean and so crisp. But yeah, eventually Oku transitions out of that stretch, yanks back on the leg, and gets the tap out win, gets a submission win. Really definitive win for Michael Oku. I'd love to see these guys do it again. I'd love to see Michael Oku defend against Atlantis Jr. I think that'd be interesting, or even Ultimo Guerrero. There's so many combinations, having seen this show, that I would love to see. And I think that's the best thing about this, is that it offered variety, it offered flavour, a new flavour of wrestling to the British scene. And I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for that, because it could have easily been another wrestling show, but it didn't. It felt special and it felt unique, and I'm so happy that I was there, and probably there next year, because it was announced at the end of the show. All the guys from the back came to the front, came to the ring, and announced pretty much that Fantastica Mania 2024 is happening, and CMLL will be there. We'll be partnering with Rev Pro for the foreseeable future. I love that. I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm so into it. Overall, my first Rev Pro show was awesome. What more can I say? It was awesome. I had a blast. Lean, 2.5 hours, 6 matches. What a blast. What a thrill. And I'm so happy I went. Overall, I'll give this 4.5 out of 5. Obviously biased because I was there. But do check this one out if you want to, support British wrestling, support Lucha Libre wrestling. Check it out. That's all I've got to say. That is all I've got to say. Let's wrap this up now, shall we? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.